extra coffee, but it was just a regular. Let's do one. That triple was perfect, so I'd rather just see what we can get on a bar and see how it feels. So get everything right. Squeeze the bar, squeeze your butt. Tight, 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 go. I don't ever want to see a video of you doing a shitty 155 every day.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this has been long awaited for a year, let's say a little bit over a year because I am a couple of days behind, but my most viewed videos on my YouTube channel are, of course, boobs, my breast augmentation, and I still get lots and lots of questions on the daily. I get DMs just asking about the procedure, how long it took to recover. As an athlete, like how am I able to perform with a new set of boobs? And so I am going to try my best to answer the most common questions asked. So if you haven't checked already, go ahead and click on my links for my previous breast augmentation clips. There's part 1 and 2. Part 1 of my breast augmentation video is about me actually going in to get the surgery, and there's a few clips in there, just the day of and the day after, me talking about how the process went. And then part 2 is a couple months later, talking about how I have been recovering, how I've been training with a brand new set of breasts. Go ahead and check those out first and then come back here, and then we will talk about what happened a year later and what am I doing now. For those of you that just want to skip parts 1 and 2 and just listen to this video, I will give you a quick little background about my whys and whens and all that. So first off, I've been wanting a breast augmentation probably since I was 14 years old. I'm 31 today. I got my breast augmentation done obviously last year when I was 30. It had been like 16 years since I've actually wanted my breasts done. Why at 14 did I want to get them done? Well, every single woman on my mom's side of the family, because I don't really have very many women on my dad's side, so all the women in my family are either C or D cup breasts. Very voluptuous women, and I was completely flat, and I didn't feel very feminine. And my mom had always told me, you're only 14 years old, just wait until you're older, wait until you have children, because that's when they're gonna come. I got older, I'm in my 20s. Still, I am at this point like a 32, 34A, and my breasts were asymmetric. So meaning that one was bigger than the other. And it was noticeably different. Friends probably wouldn't notice, like if I was wearing a padded bra, obviously because of pads, and I never filled in those cups anyway, so like you could never tell. But if I were to be like in a sports bra, you could see that it's a little loose on one side, especially if the bra doesn't have too much compression. And then, you know, in the bedroom, you know, sexy time, you could definitely notice. And of course, like my lovers in the past would never say anything, and my current lover, my husband, never complained either, but that's just because he's so sweet. I have always wanted them done, and I probably want to say I had my first consultation when I was about 26, 27 years old, and the reason why I never went through with it was because I couldn't afford it at the time. I didn't have the money, and I thought it was absolutely silly to finance an elective surgery, something that's not necessary. It's just something that I wanted, and to finance it, that just, if I can't afford it, like, didn't want to be, you know, making payments on breast implants. Of course, like me now having my business, I started my business when I was 28 years old, and I've been doing well. I was on a TV show that made my income go up a little bit. So then I thought, like, you know what, like I still want them. It never left my thoughts, and never. And when I had first gotten with Dan, and I of course like had expressed how much I wanted to get my boobs done, and being the good boyfriend slash husband that he is, he always reassured me that there's nothing wrong with the way I look now and that he loves the way I look, and he's more of a butt guy anyway. But I had to let him know that, you know, although I really appreciate what he has to say and that he accepts me for me, but this isn't for him. This is for me. This is going to make me happy, and I really believe that it would boost my confidence. I mean, yes, I know I have a decent following on social media, and I do present myself to the public like I have a lot of confidence, and I do to an extent. But I think if you ask like all of the influencers, there is like a little bit of something that like that triggers our low self-esteem, if that makes sense. I did get a lot of comments when, especially whenever I was like in my singlets or like competing, and you could see my flat chest, and that didn't really bother me, like the mean comments, like calling me a man or calling me flat chested or where her titties, like any of that, like that did not bother me. I mean, it was mean, but that wasn't the reason why I wanted to get my breasts done anyway. I made sure that I was doing it for myself. October of 2016, I had told Dan, like, you know what, I want my boobs. I think I saw something on television, one of the TV shows about plastic surgery was on, like a commercial came on, and I just told Dan, I was like, I want to get my boobs done. I'm going to get my boobs done. I'm going to make an appointment. And I think he was like trying to catch me at a bluff because I talked about it so often but never did anything about it. He was like, then make an appointment. I was like, fine, I will. And like the very next day, I knew the doctor that I wanted to see, just because like I've researched so much for years, and I knew who I wanted to see. So I made an appointment, and a week later, I was in the office doing the consultation with him, and things are great. Like, he seemed like a great doctor, and like the thing that I was afraid of was, because I'm an athlete, I didn't want him to try to talk me out of working out. And I told him, like, I do weightlifting, I do CrossFit, and like these are the movements that I do. I know it's gonna affect, you know, my muscle, my pecs, and I just want to make sure that you're okay with me pushing the envelope a little bit when it comes to recovery. And he was just like, you know what? You know your body better than I do, and if it feels good, keep going with it. And that is like the answer that I really, really wanted to hear, because I didn't want to go to a doctor that was going to tell me like, no, you cannot work out for 6 straight weeks, and just like be super strict about it, not understand his patient as an athlete. Let's just dive into the questions already. The first question is asking about my size before surgery and then after. I went in at a 34, 36A, and I never filled in the cups like with the regular bras. I always had like a little gap in between. I just never filled it. So it was just like really hard to find any bra that like actually fit me, because I do have a wide back and lats that the actual band of the bra would have to be 34, 36. With sports bras, like for Lululemon as a reference, I would be I was in a size 8 because of the band, but the actual cup part was very loose on me. If I went down to a size 6, it just felt really, really tight on my lats, which was not comfortable for me. So I was definitely in between sizes. It was hard to find something that was comfortable enough. Again, I was asymmetric. I can't even remember. I think my left breast was smaller than my right. When I got my breast augmentation, I got 275cc and 245cc. So you could tell that there's like a 30cc difference. Now that my breasts are settled completely, I am a full 34C. Someone asked, because like they're worried that because they're barely a 32A and they're worried that their breasts are gonna look fake. They were wondering, like, do I go over the muscle, under the muscle? And I went under the muscle, and I don't think they look fake at all. When I first got them done, they were definitely up here, which worried me a little bit because I didn't want that porn star look. And within time, like after a couple of weeks, they were down here, and then down here, and then down here, and now they're just nice and settled. They just fit my body nicely, and I'm very happy with them. My doctor definitely knew what he was doing, and he listened to me, because I told him, look, I don't want to be looking like a porn star. I want there to be like a noticeable difference that I actually have breasts compared to when I was a 34A. Those that are concerned about having that porn star look, or, you know, their breast implants looking too fake, just don't go a size too big for your body frame. And your doctor should know that. He's a professional, and he should know what will look good for your body. And the other thing you also need to consider is your body fat. I'm probably like at 18-19% body fat right now. That's also why they look more natural. They look more filled in, I guess you can say. But if you look at a bikini competitor and they're very lean, very, very low body fat, I mean, we could even be talking single digits, and they have that separation, and you see that, don't think that that's what yours are going to look like. That's because they have really low body fat. And this by no means am I trying to take away from bikini competitors or bodybuilders in general. It's to your own preference, but just keep in mind that when you are low body fat, that's essentially what it's going to look like. Were there any exercise movements your doctor said would be best to avoid after surgery? Now, again, my doctor was really cool, and he understood that I am an athlete, and that even with him saying not to, I probably would just do what I wanted anyway. And so he just told me to like listen to my body. I didn't get into the gym until 7 days after surgery, and all I did was squat like 65 to 95 pounds back squat from the rack. And I did lots of like lower body exercises. I did get a membership at a like traditional gym, so I can use their machines to do like, you know, the abductors and adductors and leg press. Just anything that didn't require me to like use my chest or like shoulders. Like this movement felt kind of funky, so it was just like, because it's really tight, I did get sub-muscular, so it was very, very tight around my chest. So I didn't push it until week 2. So week 2, I did some pass-throughs with the PVC pipe, but like super wide. So this was me doing my pass-throughs, and your chest like trying to stretch out, because I mean, you have like foreign objects in your chest, so now your muscles have to like relearn it. And not to mention, the incisions are through your muscle, so I just had to be very, very careful. And but by week 2, I did do some pass-throughs, and I was doing like 5-pound bicep curls, and I just tested everything out. I think I was able to do empty barbell snatch, and like by empty barbell, I meant like the 15-pound trainer bars. So I did empty barbell snatching, and I did some cleans, power clean. By week 3 though, I was pretty much doing everything. And by week 4, so a month later, I probably was able to snatch about 80% of my max, and I probably doing like 70-75% of my clean and jerk. Because of my level of fitness, I was able to recover much quicker. So for those athletes, weightlifting athletes, CrossFit athletes, powerlifting athletes, if you're used to being physical most of the day, your recovery is going to be fine, trust me. How did you decide on which plastic surgeon to go with? So I've lived in New York for 7 years now, and I was researching for 6 while in New York. I went to 2 different consultations. One is actually a very famous surgeon here, and he's done lots of celebrities, but he's an asshole and very expensive. And after seeing like what the celebrities look like, so I just held off. And then I did the other one I did in Garden City, and I really liked that they had like the 3D image so you can actually see it on you. So like I saw my tattoos but with boobs, and I thought that was really cool. And at the time, like, I couldn't afford it and I definitely didn't want to finance it, so that's why I didn't go with it. I don't know, throughout the years, like, I just like kept searching and searching, and then I found Dr. Arnold Breitbart in Manhasset, New York, and I would research through his gallery, and like they just look so beautiful and so natural. And that's where I did my consultation. I scheduled an appointment, and I mean, he's so great that there was like a 6-month waiting list, and luckily someone canceled, so I was able to get in a little bit sooner. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys do your research when you do try to find a plastic surgeon, especially if you are an athlete. You want to make sure that they don't just treat you like a paycheck, but they treat you like an athlete patient. Was it scary to go through with it, and how long was the recovery? So of course, I mean, it's a surgery, so, and it was actually my first surgery, so I was definitely nervous, but you don't want to go in to your surgery being nervous, because especially because you are going to be put to sleep and you don't want to have bad dreams. Not that I remember anything when I was under, but you just want to like stay positive. So yes, I was nervous, but I knew that my doctor was very experienced and very professional. So when I walked in to the operation room, I remember the nurse asking me to describe my ideal honeymoon or something, and I was telling her that like Dan and I had planned on going to Santorini, Greece for our honeymoon, and then next thing I know, I was out, and then I swear I felt like I was only out for like 2 minutes, and then I woke up and I had these pretty ththings, and that was it. So I say, don't be nervous. You don't feel anything. You don't remember anything. So there's really nothing to be worried about. You're just gonna wake up with a nice set of hoo-has. I've been thinking about it so much, but the thought of losing upper body strength that I've worked so hard to get, that is like a huge concern. A lot of people think that they're gonna lose upper body strength. Well, before I got my breast augmentation, I think my best bench was like 121, 125, and I just had a meet last month in California, and I benched 143. My max butterfly pull-ups is 39, which is a PR by 9 from 2 years ago. With the slingshot, I was able to bench 175. I do push-ups like normal, so I definitely didn't lose any upper body strength. In fact, I've PR'd in almost everything. The only thing that took the longest was getting my ring muscle ups back and being more efficient on the ring dips. There are some days where I'll be doing like deep ring dips, and I could just feel like my chest just like separating, and it's a very uneasy feeling, not so much painful. It makes me a little bit cautious when I do them. But other than that, like I'm back 100%. I haven't PR'd my snatch and clean and jerk maybe a year and a half, 2 years, but that's just because I've kind of been out of practice. Like, my training has been very inconsistent, but I have been hitting like 95%, which is fine by me. Most of you know I am not doing weightlifting right now. I am primarily focused on powerlifting, so there's that. I did just hit 300 on my deadlift for 3, so that's exciting. I would like to end this video on a good note and positive advice. When you think about getting your breast augmentation, don't let anything hinder your decision. It's for you and you only. You're not doing it so you can get extra likes on Instagram. It's not to satisfy your boyfriend or your significant other. This is supposed to be for you. It's something that's going to make you feel better about yourself, and that's it. It's just about you. It's not about anybody else but you. Because no matter what, there's always going to be that one person that is going to tell you,
you look better before,
or
you should accept the way that you are, and blah, blah, blah.
All that bullshit. That's why it needs to be your decision, and you're doing it for yourself. And if it's gonna make you feel better, if it's gonna boost your confidence, give you better self-esteem, do it. Why not? I do feel more complete. I feel more womanly. I just feel like they're meant to be on me. And even though I'm not, at my leanest, I still feel extra confident with my new set of boobs. So I'm happy with my decision. The only regret that I have is not doing it any sooner. But other than that, I did it for me and I'm happy with them, and I'm going to flaunt them when I want to. But anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. If you like me, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.